We were a people that had pioneered the arts, music, dance, theater. When you would see a Caucasian person would view going to the opera or the theater, not the movies, as having culture. We pioneered those things. We had those things. You can see people in ancient Kemet doing ballet, meaning that a black person would see ballet as something for a white person, when we were the people who pioneered ballet. Gymnastics we pioneered. You can see it with capoeira. Winemaking we pioneered. Growing grapes and making wine was a major part of ancient Kemet. Let's look at diet, that Middle Eastern food with the salads and things like that. We pioneered healthy living, healthy foods. We pioneered medicine, astronomy.
First of all, not to cut you off, when we talk about food, there's a Introduction to African Civilization by John G. Jackson. Very good book, pick it up. He has a chapter dedicated to the Moors, right? And he discusses how prior to, like, I want to say 900, 800, they didn't have strawberries and oranges in Europe. You remember, Europe is a very dark, cold, bitter place. We like to say it's land poor, people poor, and resource poor in Europe, right? A lot of what's in Europe now had to be imported, had to come from outside of Europe. So when the Moors came in and took over Spain and really raised it from barbarity, they had to bring what they considered luxurious with them. They had to import luxury. They had to bring home. So a lot of what you see in Spain, Portugal, England didn't exist prior to the Moors. Nutrition, food, diet. When the Moors got to Europe, there's a piece that the BBC, a wonderful piece that the BBC put together about the Moors in Spain. This is an up-to-date piece, probably came out like in the last 5 years. But the sister who did the piece talked about how the Moors, when they came into Europe, brought civilization, they brought education. Compensatory education was mandatory for all school-age children, male and female. That was something that was unheard of in Catholic Europe prior to the Moors. Only royal men went to school. If you were not royalty, you did not go to school. And women did not get educated in Europe at all until the Moors came. The Moors were able to bring so much progress with them in Europe that the peasantry ran to the Moors. They looked to the Moors to defend them against the Catholic Church. That's something that we don't learn, and it's documented history. Introduction to African Civilization by John G. Jackson. He has a whole chapter dedicated to the Moors, and you can research that book, and he'll give you some more reference points for you to do some more research. But civilization, all parts of civilization was introduced by peoples through our ancestors called Moors.
Wow.
They talked about, they had, you talking about 700 and 800 AD. You had palaces with toilets that flushed. You had water systems, running water in homes. You talking about 800-900 AD. We're talking about cobblestone and paved streets that went for miles with gas lamps. This is 800-900 AD. We're talking about black people here. We're not talking about savages. We're talking about black folk. There's another, oh man, the brother's name is Ibn Battuta. He lived in the late 1200s, early 1300s. He was a world traveler and writer, right? He has manuscripts like forever and a day about his travels around the world. He says that the most righteous, just people on the planet were the citizens of the civilization called Mali, the Empire of Mali. And there's a map, a famous map of, the map was created by someone in Portugal, but it showed Africa, it showed Europe and Asia, right? But there's one person on this map, and that person is Kankan Mansa Musa, sitting on a throne with a gold nugget. Supposedly this man used to tie his horse to a gold nugget.
Whoa.
This man traveled from Mali, West Africa to Egypt. He spent some time in Egypt and spent so much money in Egypt that it disrupted the economy of Egypt for like 10 years. So all the money, like, we're not talking about savages and people swinging on trees. We're talking about very upright, righteous, civilized people who had empires that influenced the entire world at that point. You know what I mean? So this is all prior to 1492. And when we sit down with Bam, we're gonna get a really clear understanding of 1492 and the role that year plays on our decline.
Definitely speaking, you know, dates and times are critical. When I first came into knowledge of self, you know, someone said to me, no European, no Caucasian civilization has lasted more than 700 years. But, you know, these ancient black nations lasted for thousands of years. So you had a people who had been skilled in the art of building civilization for tens of thousands of years. They'd been skilled in the arts of laying out civilizations, having paved streets. Let's go to Mohenjo-Daro. Mohenjo-Daro is the ancient black civilization of the Indus Valley. The stone that paved the streets of Mohenjo-Daro is the stone that the railway of the entire Indian civilization is built on. They used the stone that was created by these black people to build their railway on. It was that much stone, that much paved streets. You can find in Kemet as well paved streets, toilets with running water. They were skilled at using engineering, stone engineering, to direct water, to redirect water. They were skilled at using gravity and pressure. But let's talk about how they use engineering with gravity and with pressure, so that they can direct water, bring water into people's houses, create showers and baths in people's houses thousands of years ago. This is what they brought to Europe. So, you know, when we're talking about the Moors as well, we're talking about people that were really skilled